Join us on this 9.5 miles kayak from Mordiford to Hoarwithy on the Lugg and Wye Rivers on the 13th of June 2021. Watch on to learn about the amazing scenery and wildlife along this route, how we started on the Lugg River and then joined with the larger Wye River, what inflatable kayaks we used on this trip, and most importantly, what good pubs there are on this route. Launching from Mordiford at about 1 p.m, we paddled down the Lugg River to its confluence with the Wye River. We continued along the looping meanders of the Wye River before we finally landed at Hoarwithy at about 5:30 p.m. This is where we're going to launch onto the Lugg River at Mordiford. You can see Mordiford Bridge in the background over there. This was our maiden voyage on the Lugg River, which is a tributary of the Wye River. We were surprised how narrow and fast-flowing the Lugg River was. Rather surprisingly, there is a public right of navigation on the Lugg River for over 25 miles upstream from Mordiford, all the way to Prestine in Wales. However, only the section between Leicester and Mordiford is easy to paddle. The section upstream from Leicester is apparently only suitable for whitewater paddlers, due to it being narrow with tight bends and numerous weirs. At Mordiford, the Moon Inn is a traditional pub in a lovely old building just up from the bridge in Mordiford. I think you've got to be careful with these overhanging trees on the Lugg River, otherwise you could be having an early bath. I think those sheep on the bank are laughing at me paddling past in my kayak. We've paddled about half a mile downstream on the Lugg River from Mordiford, and this is where it joins up with the Wye River now. Looks like Neil might have got stuck on that branch over there. At Mordiford, we had parked up in a lay-by on the west side of the bridge, and then got down to the banks of the Lugg River, upstream from the bridge via a public footpath. An alternative launch location could be from Lucksall Caravan Park, downstream from Holme Lacy Bridge. In this case, you need to contact Lucksall Caravan Park to arrange parking your car there and using their canoe launch. This drone footage shows us landing at Lucksall Caravan Park below Holme Lacy Bridge on a subsequent trip from Hereford to Holme Lacy on a later date. The Riverside Bar and Eatery at Lucksall Caravan Park is located next to their canoe launches and floating pontoons, so there's easy access on and off the river for paddleboarders and kayakers. If you only had one vehicle, then there appears to be no direct bus between Hoarwithy and Mordiford or Holme Lacy, so your only option would be to book a taxi to take you back to your car at the start of the route. There are a number of taxi companies in and around Hereford and Ross-on-Wye. On this trip, we had left a car at either end of the route. Well, kayaking must be hungry work because we've only been paddling for just over an hour, and the guys are already talking about having a lunch stop. It's absolutely roasting today, so Di's cooling off in the water over there. I hope he's not having a wee. We've stopped for a lunch break and a cider, purely to stay hydrated, of course. Looks like those swans are ganging up on us. They seem friendly enough though. I think the swans are very used to canoeists and kayakers on the Wye by now. On the left you can see some hard-shell kayaks that passed us about halfway along the route. We did see a number of other paddlers out on the river in a range of canoes and kayaks, but it's nowhere near as busy as the sections between Ross-on-Wye and Monmouth. I think that swan over there is taking a fancy to Neil's white French Foreign Legion hat. All three of us are using Pro Aqua inflatable kayaks for today's trip. They're quite compact little kayaks with a protective fabric outer layer. Most of this section of the Wye River between Mordiford and Hoarwithy was deep and gently flowing, but we did occasionally come across some shallower sections of rapids which kept us on our toes. As usual, we used the website River Levels UK to check the water levels in the river today before our paddle. We checked it for the Mordiford monitoring station. The lower Wye River from Mordiford to Chepstow is an area of outstanding natural beauty and is regarded as one of the finest lowland landscapes in Britain. The large wooded hill directly ahead is known as Capler Hill. It leads up to the double ramparts of Capler Camp, an Iron Age hill fort. From here to Ross-on-Wye, the river follows several large meanders. As you can see, kayaking is a strenuous exercise that helps you to keep in really good shape. I think the heat must be getting to us. It's probably about 90 degrees already. We came upon Carey Islands, which are a group of islands with rapids in between them. I didn't like the look of the rapids on the right, and I went down the left side, which I later learned was a mistake. It was a mistake going down the left hand side of Carey Islands, because I had to carry my kayak over these shallow rapids here. Neil and Di are looking rather smug after going ahead of me down the right hand side.
Remember to go right there.
Now he tells me there's a very strange shape growing off that tree over there. Looks almost like an animal sitting on top of it. This 9.5 miles trip today is part of our mission to kayak every section of the Wye River from Glasbury all the way down to Chepstow. That's over 100 miles of paddling. There's a flock of Canada geese passing us over there. You see loads of bird life on the Wye River when you're paddling. Carey Bridge is one of 3 railway bridges crossing the Wye between Ross-on-Wye and Hereford, which were dismantled when the Hereford to Gloucester line closed in 1964. At Hoarwithy, the new Harp Inn is a great pub to rehydrate yourself after a long hot day's paddling on the river. At Hoarwithy, we had parked up in a lay-by on the east side of the bridge. We landed on the right or west bank just below Hoarwithy Bridge. British Canoeing have bought a field alongside the river called Toll Paddock, which can be used to get from the riverbank to the road when you land or launch there. Alternatively, you can arrange to land at Tresec campsite at Hoarwithy, which is just downstream from Toll Paddock. St Catherine's Church in Hoarwithy has an unusual Italianate design comprised of an imposing campanile of 4 stories. If you enjoyed the video, then please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing by clicking on the left below. Click on the right below to be taken to the playlist of videos of our other trips along the Wye River. Happy paddling from the kayak crew.